Hello, 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 hello. What's up, Mumbai? Pretty Sunday morning here, actually afternoon, but I think the rains are here, so the weather is quite better than it was way back in the month of May or April, for that matter. So yeah, what's this? What am I doing here? I'm Srini, and it's been a while since I've actually done a few videos. I've spoken about anything, sort of been grinding at things at the back end. Yes, I'm sure you might have seen some of my recent stories delving into the esports world, gaming, and that's a fascination I've picked up on. It's a childhood fascination. Some of you who have watched my earlier videos would know I had my own gaming cafe when I was 19, and that's exactly where the oh wow, look at the breeze, wow, so happy. That's exactly where I started gaming and interested. Got my interest up in the space. I think as you grow, you become a child, they say. So as I'm approaching my midlife, I thought I'll rekindle that passion of mine. Last year on my birthday, I bought myself a gaming laptop because I keep traveling, so it's better to have a laptop than a PC. While of course a laptop is far, mm, I mean, durability wise, or maybe it might not last as long as a PC would, but let's see where it goes. Who knows? I might get a PC too soon. So anyway, I started my passion with the esports industry, gaming industry, back in 2016-17 when I started watching international CS:GO tournaments on Twitch and online. And I was really fascinated. I mean, the competitiveness of the sport and the close games, especially if you go into overtimes, FPS games are really, really interesting. When the pandemic hit, I got hooked on to Valorant and even Dota for that matter. Watched the international and spent an entire weekend watching the international finals, and I was mesmerized by some really fierce activities in terms of comebacks, in terms of underdogs winning. I'm always, 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 rooting for underdogs to win, with the exception of Global Esports, who I sort of am a big fan of, and also the oldest intern at. Um, but Global Esports were also probably underdogs once upon a time, and they still are in the international scene. I agree. There's a long, long, long way to go. There will be a ton of improvements to come, and I think that's a different story for some other time. But anyway, coming back to esports, and my interest in esports was mainly because I used to run a gaming cafe. I used to spend hours and hours gaming with customers, with people, giving them insights on what to do, what not to do. We used to play a lot of, I mean, early versions of Dota. There was Half Life. There was FIFA, of course, and Unreal Tournament was a big FPS 5v5 sort of a game, which is very, very similar to what's popular now, Valorant, which I got hooked onto in the pandemic. Started watching the Sky Sports League, where different cities were their own teams. I mean, of course, like VLT was Hyderabad, Global Esports Bangalore was Bangalore, Rajasthan was, I think, back then EXO or Samurai. I think, I'm not sure. But anyway, I got hooked onto it. It's a very, very exciting sport, and I think esports is a big, big, big market and a big space that people are getting into. Of course, we've had our PUBG bans, we've had our you know um, challenges with children spending too much time gaming and so on and so forth. The government regulations are definitely something which everyone in the industry is looking at. One important thing, of course, is not to treat gaming, video gaming, in the same leagues as gaming of kinds of the betting on teams winning and creating fantasy teams and or making money out. So this is not the gaming that we are talking about. Anyways, though, I think I got hooked onto it. Spent a couple of years learning different types of games, playing some of them, albeit on weekends because I do have other things to do on the weekdays. And that is something which got me really, really hooked onto, so much so that I sort of, in a way, also participated a lot more than what I could just watching, right? When Gamers Guild was announced, it's an NFT market, NFT, which was launched by one of the top, teams, esports teams in India, and I would say Asia because they've also had Koreans, representing them, or they've had Korean team members back when they were playing Overwatch, and they have won on the international stage as well. Anyway, so they launched their Gamers Guild NFT. I sort of wailed in, got myself 7 NFTs at a decent price simply because they launched it on ERC 721A, which means lower gas fees, and I was going to anyways buy 5 or 4 or whatever. I ended up buying 7, a gamer a day, right, for an entire week. Anyways, that gave me access to kind of meet people in the esports space, especially when I first met them for the LAN event organized by Sky Sports in Mumbai. Got to interact with the teams, got to support them, of course, and one thing I realized, it's very interesting because this is still an up and coming sport, and it is still something that a lot of people are not aware of. You might see, if you look on Hotstar, there have been tournaments that have been streamed before, even on the likes of the OTT platform like Hotstar. Very soon there will be something coming up on Star Sports, which is going to be mass, which is going to go on television. So that's going to scale up in terms of esports. But yeah, coming back to it being a new space, all the players, all the who are celebrities to people like us, fans like us, they are just another they're definitely not average Joes. They're definitely talented, skillful in the work that they do. Yes, it's a profession for them. Gaming hours and hours, grinding hard to kind of be the best at what they do. While there are high prize pools, prize winnings, they are not the constant source of revenue for brands or esports companies or organizations. There is a whole new market which evolves in this, and which is what I'm thinking of covering. I might do a podcast on it soon, but very soon I'm going to be writing an article based on my experiences in the last 2 LANs that I attended. I attended the whole, I had a chance to interact with a ton of people in this space. Of course, the organizer, Sky Sports, I'm working very closely with them to kind of make a case study of how these LAN events are growing the ecosystem, building, viewing wise also. I mean, while IPL has its own huge mass viewing, I think esports is the new niche or the new trend that's going to get big. I mean, think about it. This game Dota, globally, it is huge. While it is slowing down a little bit, it's a huge. It's one of the biggest and the best. The first time they ever launched, they had $1 million prize pool, or I think the prize winning was about $1 million, right? Anyone or any team who could win, they could get to win $1 million. Now, from then on, the prize pool has gone as high as 40 million, and the winning last time, the winning team took home $18 million, right? So think about it. The brands that are interested in, I mean, even today in CS:GO or many of these sports, there are so many endemic brands which basically are electronic brands, PCs, mobile, or for that matter, even cryptocurrencies, right? Coinbase advertises a lot for CS:GO, Intel CS:GO. AMD is very closely tied with Valorant, and so there are a bunch of these already existing endemic brands. At the same time, there are some new brands which are coming into the ecosystem, and that is, I think, a very wise move, and it will definitely help a lot of brands who are looking at getting into something new, something big, something up and coming, and for the likes of investments that they do, this is chump change, but at the same time, they garner a lot of views, especially in the target audience of, say, anywhere between 13 to say 30 or more, look at me. There's a huge uptick in the esports space, especially in the South Asian region, Indian region, in the last couple of years, few years after the pandemic. So I think my whole angle to kind of work on is the business of esports angle, and I'm most likely going to publish it in the marketing and advertising segment for a publication which is very popular in the digital space in marketing and advertising. And I think that's what I'm trying to do now. Let's see, I'm thinking of a very good podcast idea. I'll say, stay tuned for that. I will give you those details pretty soon. But yeah, for now, this is about my Sunday. Call it a rant, call it ramble. I think I'll see you guys soon, and I will share my publications and whatever I'm doing on the esports space, in the esports space, pretty soon. Thank you.